Hi everyone! Welcome to Carson Kids Sensory Series. Today we will be learning about auditory sensation, also known as hearing. We will be talking about what auditory processing is, what auditory hyper-responsive is, what auditory hypo-responsive is, and what auditory under-responsive is, and how to address auditory processing difficulties at home. Auditory processing is the ability to understand information through the ears. Auditory processing can impact a child's ability to follow verbal directions, differentiate various sounds in the environment, and conceptualize and arrange speech. A child might be described as auditory hyper-responsive, also known as auditory over-responsive or auditory hypersensitive. This child tends to be an auditory sensory avoider. This child responds excessively to sensory input. Any sound could send this child into a negative reaction. For example, this child might be bothered by a fan buzzing and cover their ears. One way to address this at home is using various sounds to desensitize or diminish this response. Allow the child to help you select sounds. Start with a sound your child likes at a low volume. Progress to another preferred sound at a medium volume. Then progress to a preferred sound at a high volume. Next, cycle through with an undesired sound in the same manner. A child might be described as auditory hypo-responsive, also known as auditory hyposensitive. This child tends to be an auditory sensory seeker. This child does not receive enough sensory input and is constantly looking for ways to get that just right level of input. These sensory-seeking behaviors can impact their day because they are not able to focus or attend to a task until they are at that just right level. For example, this child might make strange noises for fun. One way to address this at home is using various materials to provide input. Allow the child to explore various auditory inputs safely. For example, different musical instruments, an echo microphone, or a sound machine. A child might be described as auditory under-responsive. This child exhibits a diminished response to auditory sensory input. More sensory input is needed than average in order to get a response. This child can appear to be lazy or tired. For example, this child may not respond to their name being called despite having normal hearing. One way to address this at home is using various materials to provide input. Allow the child to explore various auditory inputs safely. For example, using sound tubes, clappers, or a metronome. Every day, we can sense the world around us differently depending on how we slept, what we ate, or what we did the day before. Our kids that struggle to understand the input the world is giving them can be challenging. It's okay. Try your best to be understanding and patient. Our next videos will help explain the different senses and what to do to help a child better understand the world around them. To quickly review, auditory processing is the ability to interpret information through the ears, and some of us need help to tolerate the input through various activities. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, we would love to hear from you. As always, these videos are not a substitute for medical care. Please always seek the advice of your medical team before implementing any of the strategies discussed here. Until next time.